Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, General Nicolas Torre officially takes the helm of the Philippine National Police. At least 10 senators supposedly back a plan by Senate President Chief Escudero to bury the impeachment trial of VP Sara Duterte. The FBI is investigating what it describes as a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. And Obiena captures his third gold at the Asian Athletics Championships. Retired PNP Chief General Romel Marbel officially turns over his post to Nicolas Tore III. During today's change of command ceremony, President Bongbong Marcos also issued marching orders to the former CIDG chief. Francis Falve joins us from Camp Crame in Quezon City for the details. Francis, go ahead.
Yes, my retired PNP Chief General Romel Marbel turned emotional as he relinquished his post to newly promoted Police General Nicolas Tore III. Marbel delivered an emotional farewell from being the 30th Chief of the Philippine National Police. During the retirement ceremonies held at Camp Crame, Marbel said he had fulfilled his mission with honor. Marbel also highlighted the reforms he implemented within the police force. Among these were the simplification of ceremonies to allow police officers to better value their time in service, as well as digitalization efforts within the organization. He also intensified the campaign against illegal drugs, ensuring that operations were bloodless and carried out respect for human rights. Marbel likewise emphasized the successive operations against pogos, the arrest of major human traffickers, and the fight against kidnapping targeting foreign nationals. Francisco Marbel told the president that his dreams are almost the same with the commander-in-chief. Specifically, he said, "Ang pangarap niyo ay pangarap ko rin. Isang matatag na ekonomiya, maayos na lipunan, at maayos na kapulisan." In the end, he said, "Your Excellency, natupad ko po." Or he has delivered what was expected of him. Finally, Marbel congratulated incoming PNP Police General Nicolas Tore III and advised him to continue the initiatives he had started. In his inaugural speech, Tore emphasized the three pillars of his leadership. This includes swift and responsive public service, unity and morale within the ranks, and accountability and modernization. President Bongbong Marcos also attended a change of command ceremony at the Camp Crame, and he said, "As we bid farewell to a leader who has embodied honor and excellence, we welcome one who is equally competent to lead the men and women of the PNP Police, General Nicolas Tore III." He said that his assumption of command comes at the time that calls for clarity, for courage, and for conviction, and that the challenges that the PNP is facing now, like the evolving cases of the transnational crimes, cybercrime extremists, fighter, and even police misconduct. The president challenged the new PNP chief to keep the force untainted, speedy investigation over police personnel who violated the law, and intensify police presence in the streets to prevent crime. Mai?
Francis, now that he's head of the PNP, who will replace Nicolas Torre as CIDG chief?
Yes, Maya, there's no announcement yet as who will replace him to head the CIDG. But as General Torre faced the media after the turnover ceremony this morning, Brigadier General Jean Fajardo's name surfaced. But General Torre told us to just wait for their official announcement. Mai?
Thank you, Francis Falve, reporting from Camp Crame. Vice President Sara Duterte simply laughs off the appointment of Nicolas Torre as PNP chief. The VP made a brief reaction during a press conference in The Hague, in the Netherlands.
Sorry, that's my reaction. Sorry, next question.
The VP is in the Netherlands to celebrate her birthday and visit her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, who is detained for alleged crimes against humanity. It can be recalled that General Torre led the arrest of the older Duterte in March following a request by the International Criminal Court. Senate President Chief Escudero is reportedly determined to bury the impeachment trial of VP Sara Duterte. Sources of Politico.com say at least 10 senators are backing Escudero's play. Among them, not surprisingly, are Duterte allies Bato de la Rosa, Bongo, and Robin Padilla. Joel Villanueva and Jinggoy Estrada are also said to be inclined to support Escudero, while Senators Sherwin Gatchalian and J.V. Ejercito have expressed lukewarm positions on impeachment. Sources believe Escudero's move to shelve the trial is aimed at maintaining the Duterte bloc's support to keep his hold on the Senate presidency. Senate President Cheese Escudero held a press conference this morning. Hannah T monitored that briefing and she now joins us for details. Hannah, with talks of the supposed kill impeachment move swirling, what did SB Cheese say?
Mai Senate President Cheese Escudero brushed off claims that the delay in the presentation of the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte has anything to do with his bid to keep the Senate presidency. This is after critics, including Representative-elect Laila de Lima, said that the delay may be a way to kill the impeachment and retain power. Escudero decided to move the presentation to June 11, which was supposed to happen today, and will focus on passing 12 priority bills before adjournment. He says he does not see the connection and insisted that whatever decision is made by the current Senate will not bind the next one. Asked whether he has been talking to colleagues about retaining the Senate presidency, Escudero said conversations are happening, but it's still too early to draw conclusions, and reminded that any answer today may change in the coming weeks. He reminds it is still the plenary that will decide on the next steps of the impeachment. A Politico article revealed that at least 10 senators back Escudero's play, either as outright Duterte allies or fence-sitters who'd rather not rock the boat. He needs 13 votes to continue being SP. Escudero said that as far as procedure goes, the June 11 presentation should still push through. That's when the Senate is expected to convene as an impeachment court, don their robes, and possibly issue the summons to the Vice President. But in the end, it will be the plenary that decides whether to put the impeachment to rest or allow the presentation to proceed, because, as he said, here at the Senate, it's always the majority's decision that stands. Mai?
Hannah, on the timeline, is it allowed that he moved it on his own? Are there any other individuals who influenced his decision?
Mai, if we can recall, the reason for the delay of the presentation of the articles of impeachment against VP Sara was because he will prioritize the passage of 12 bills, as mentioned in his letter to House Speaker Martin Romualdez. And this is after a LEDAC meeting with President Bongbong Marcos. But the decision was not in any way influenced now or directed by PBBM. And he said that as SP, he can decide when the presentation will happen. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you for that report. Hannah T, live from the Senate. China has a lot of trust building to do. That assertion from Philippine Defense Chief Gibo Teodoro during the annual Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. He said this deficit of trust is the biggest stumbling block to dialogues and resolving disputes in the region.
Thus, for dialogue to be effective, it must be coupled with trust. And China has a lot of trust building to do to be an effective negotiating partner in dispute settlement. We have to call a spade a spade. And that's what we see.
Teodoro also insisted the Philippines' position on the West Philippine Sea is not a function of Sino-American strategic rivalry.
Instead, it is caused, no doubt, by the overreach of the Chinese Communist Party, of which the most glaring evidence is the 9, 10, or 11 dash line that has absolutely no basis in international law. And the strategic competition between China and the United States increasingly defines our regional, global security environment. However, we must not overemphasize this reality. Doing so unfairly portrays the legitimate actions taken by smaller states, carried out as being carried out at the behest of major powers, as if we were mere pawns with no strategic agency of our own.
Teodoro's remarks come as China continues its presence and bullying in the West Philippine Sea. Over the weekend, the Philippine Coast Guard issued a radio challenge on the Chinese Coast Guard vessel off the coast of Zambales. The Philippine Coast Guard emphasized the Chinese ship lacked legal authority to patrol within Philippine waters. China, meanwhile, slams what it claims are vilifying remarks made by U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at the Shangri-La Dialogue. Hegseth warned Beijing was preparing to potentially use military force to alter the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. Hegseth added the U.S. is, quote, here to stay in the region.
Through its massive military buildup and growing willingness to use military force to achieve its goals, including gray zone tactics and hybrid warfare, China has demonstrated that it wants to fundamentally alter the region's status quo. Our defense spending must reflect the dangers and threats that we face today. Because deterrence doesn't come on the cheap.
The Chinese Foreign Ministry describes Hegseth's remarks as deplorable. It accuses Hegseth of deliberately ignoring calls for peace from regional nations and touting Cold War mentality. China's defense minister skipped the major Asian Security Forum and instead sent only an academic delegation. The FBI is investigating what it describes as a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. A group was calling for the release of Israeli hostages still held in Gaza when a man tried to set them on fire with a makeshift flamethrower. At least 6 people were hurt. The suspect has been taken into custody.
This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event. Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack. The subject has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old. The FBI is processing the crime scene and the subject vehicle and interviewing key witnesses. We're assisting Boulder Police in providing technical, analytic, and additional forensic resources. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
The attack comes just weeks after a Chicago-born man was arrested for the fatal shooting of 2 employees of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. In war-torn Gaza, Israel military denies firing at people trying to collect aid at a food distribution site in Rafah. Gaza's health ministry claims more than 30 Palestinians died in the supposed attack on Sunday. But the U.S.-based Gaza Humanitarian Foundation backs Israel, saying food was handed out without any incident. The group even released a video of people lining up for aid to support its statement. But Reuters has yet to independently verify the footage. Pope Leo speaks about marriage as he celebrates Mass for the Jubilee of Families at St. Peter's Square. The Pope says marriage is true love between man and woman, reiterating the Church's traditional teaching that heterosexual marriage is a foundation of society. Leo also discussed this during his first meeting with world diplomats 2 weeks ago, where he also reaffirmed the church's position against abortion. Meantime, Pride Month celebrations kick off in several countries. In West Hollywood, thousands join an annual parade showcasing vibrant costumes and colorful floats. Advocates also use the event to stress the need for HIV prevention funding. Thousands also turned out in Thailand for a parade along a 3-kilometer route. Dancing drag queens joined the processions, which were held under the theme Born This Way.
I think the best thing is that everyone feels so comfortable and everyone can be what they want to be. Yeah, I think I'd say the vibrant energy, amazing. Yeah, I agree.
Earlier this year, Thailand became the first country in Southeast Asia to legalize marriage for same-sex couples. We're taking a break. Still to come, Obiena captures his third straight gold at the Asian Athletics Championships. That and more when Newsfeed at Noon returns. Time now for sports. Obiena proving once again why he's the best pole vaulter in Asia. The men's world number 4 snagged his third straight gold medal at the Asian Athletics Championships. Obiena soared to victory in Gumi, South Korea, ruling the competition with a winning leap of 5.77 meters. The Filipino pole vault star also topped the 2019 and 2023 editions of the Continental Meet. Despite concerns about his age, People's Champ Manny Pacquiao is confident he can still deliver at 46 years old. In a press conference, the former senator and 8th Division world champion says he is in 100% condition despite a 4-year hiatus in the pros. Pacquiao will face 30-year-old Mexican-American Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title on July 19. The bout will take place at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Gilas women's star Jack Animam comes home not to compete but to inspire. On Billionaire News Channel's It's a Beautiful Day, the Gilas Pilipinas Center excitedly shared that she is returning to Malolos, Bulacan after years of representing the country. She will hold her first ever free basketball clinic, hoping to plant the seeds of confidence, character, and community in the next generation of young athletes.
So this is one very good way to build that character and, let them, make mistakes, and also at the same time making them feel that it's okay to make mistakes. And with that, slowly building their confidence and their character and playing through sports, you will learn more about yourself and you can build different values, learn different values, and especially, socializing with other kids.
The basketball clinic for boys and girls 13 and up is on June 7 at the Malolos Sports and Convention Center.
I wouldn't be, the Jack I am today if it weren't for the sports. And I want them to experience how sports can change your life in a 360 just like that.
In the NBA playoffs, Indiana is back in the finals after 25 years. The Pacers defeated the New York Knicks in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, 125-108. Pascal Siakam spiced it up for Indiana with 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. He was named Conference Finals MVP. Tyrese Halliburton chipped in 21 points and dished out 13 assists. The last time Indiana was in the finals was in the year 2000 against the Los Angeles Lakers. The Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder begin the NBA Finals this Friday, June 6th at 8:30 a.m. Philippine time. In entertainment, celebrity influencer Ivana Alawi appears unbothered amid her rumored affair with billionaire politician Albi Benitez. To recall, Albi's wife Nikki Lopez Benitez filed a complaint against him for supposedly violating the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act. In it, Ivana was tagged as Albi's mistress. Ivana broke her social media silence over the weekend, posting a video of herself smiling in a car. While she didn't directly address the issue, she also posted a fan-edited clip featuring Lady Gaga's Paparazzi as background music, a possible nod to the intense media attention. After also being linked to Albi Benitez, actress Andrea Del Rosario showers her current partner with praises. On Facebook, Andrea shared several photos of her and polo player Anthony Garcia. She wrote, "After being in relationships which made her question her worth, manipulated her emotions, and were full of lies and deception, she honestly did not believe healthy love existed. But then, Anthony came into her life." Andrea thanked Anthony for being her rock and for stopping her from engaging with trolls. Albi's wife, Nikki, said she began hearing about Andrea's supposed affair with her husband in 2009. Albi allegedly admitted that he had a child with Andrea. Disney's live-action Lilo and Stitch overtakes Sinners to become the second highest-grossing film of the year. The film won the North American box office for a second week in a row, taking in another $63 million. Its worldwide sales have reached a whopping $610 million so far. Meanwhile, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning made another $231 million overseas, which should help offset its reported $400 million production budget. And before we go, rowers have a splashing good time at Hong Kong's annual Dragon Boat Festival. 46 teams from diverse backgrounds competed in the Aberdeen Dragon Boat Race to the cheers of spectators. While such racing originated in China, the modern version found its origin in Hong Kong approximately 40 years ago.
A lot of people are enjoying, small kids, big people, very big people, so it's nice. It's a way to bring the community together. We have a lot in Greece as well, so we like tradition.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on the Billionaire News Channel.